Now, you may think I'm digging deep for meaning here, but I'm not. And you need to see that this is included in this statement. You cannot triumph, but you are exalted. And in your exalted state, you seek others like you and rejoice with them. I wish to see the evidence of love. Well, if you wish to see the evidence of love, you will seek for the evidence of love. And you will seek for it in others so that you can find that they are like you and you can rejoice with them. You don't go off and leave the shitty bastards behind that made it so difficult for you, so you can find those who are already in this exalted state that you are, and you won't have to put up with shit anymore. No, in your exalted state, you seek others. You look into your brother's eyes, the bastard, the bitch, the one who's giving you hell, the one that's causing you so much stress. And you rejoice with them because you have sought for the truth in them, and through diligence and persistence to see the truth, you found it. If you are exalted because you've recognized there ain't no box, then you're going to look into your brothers and sisters' eyes who are still thinking they're in the box, and you're going to share the news with them so that they can see that they aren't in it either, and the two of you can rejoice together. It is easy to distinguish grandeur from grandiosity because love is returned, but pride is not. Love is inseparable from grandeur because humility is the characteristic of grandeur. And in the presence of humility, no one feels threat. And I promise you that any time any one of you experience an absence of threat, you feel loved. Grandiosity, on the other hand, the characteristic of it is arrogant pride, self-satisfaction. Pride can't be shared. It's a private experience of bloated self-appreciation. Pride will not produce miracles, and therefore will deprive you of your true witnesses to your reality. What are your true witnesses to your reality? They are the messengers that return to you that you've sent out. What reality I'm going to say it this way. From what reality are you sending out your messengers? The reality of grandiosity? The reality of your personal private definitions? They will come back to you and confirm your perceptions, your ignorances. But if your reality is the experience of humility, in which you make no claims about yourself, but the Father's claims about you by virtue of his expressing himself as you, those constitute a grandeur that you can feel and that you know is true about you, and you know you didn't manufacture. And from that experience, you send out different messengers. And thus you are not deprived of your true witnesses to your reality. Truth is not obscure nor hidden, but its obviousness to you lies in the joy you bring to its witnesses who show it to you. How many of you have had the experience of being in a really bad mood, and some happy bloke walks into the room and just showers you with the joy that they're feeling? You see, this does not witness to your reality, and it can really bug the hell out of you. And you will not respond to the witnesses for joy with joy. And thus you don't fulfill your function of glorifying God. Truth is not obscure nor hidden, but its obviousness to you lies in the joy you bring to its witnesses who show it to you. They attest to your grandeur, but they cannot attest to pride, because pride is not shared. And I'm adding pride cannot be shared. As I said, it's a very private experience. God wants you to behold what He created because it is His joy. God wanted Paul to see the avocados because they were there to be seen for what they were, to be used for the purpose they were there for. If God wants for Paul to see the avocados, He wants all of you to see the presence of being, the presence of what He is, the presence of what capital B, being is, in everything. The flower, the table, the leaves, the fingernails, the poncho, the chair, the socks. You see? You may call them something else when you see them for what they truly are. But the name is not what they are. What they are is real. You know, there's a song, roll out the barrel. Well, roll out the curiosity. And you know what? If you do it this week, and there aren't major changes, you know what? There will have been one major change. You will have been using your mind in a new way that is utterly constructive. And so it's not a test. It can be looked at as a matter of practical discipline. To start using your mind in a way that has as its goal to see the face of God here and now. To see the kingdom of heaven here and now. To see the grandeur of being in the simplest of things that you encounter every day. If you don't see a lot of brand new things All it means is that your previous habits are so ingrained that they are still taking precedence. But what they are causing you to see isn't real, and therefore it isn't something to be willing to settle for just because your really great conscientious persistence during the coming week didn't cause major transformation. You know what? This piece of paper wants you to see what it really is. The petal on the flower wants you to see what it truly is. You say, well, maybe I could understand the petal of the flower because the flower is alive, but this piece of paper is inanimate. It's not alive. How could it have a want? Because there ain't no such thing as matter. All substance is spirit. Spirit is God. Substance is living. The substance of spirit is love. Every single idea in the mind of God is experienceable, as I've been saying. And because everything is an idea, the substance of which is spirit, it is conscious, living, conscious. It has an intent to communicate its meaning for being. Its meaning for being. Not for being a piece of paper, but for being, simply being. You see? Being, the conscious experience of being, is a conscious experience of intimate relationship, conscious, intimate relationship with every single idea in the infinitude of creation that you call things. Maybe you have trouble with the contents of this book, but the book is spirit. It is an idea that is experienceable as a book. As a book, it wants you to experience its reason for existing as a book, regardless of the content, but also including the content. Start looking at everything as though it's alive. Not matter alive, but an idea. Not matter. A living idea. A living, conscious idea that exists for the purpose of expressing and extending its meaning so that it can be recognized and experienced. You are living in the middle of a living God. You are living in the middle of an unalterable, unchangeable, unlimited movement of being, existing, that's called God. You say, well, how can I pray to a movement? Yeah, I can pray to God because God is a thing, a noun. God is a thing I can send messages to. Now you say that God is a verb, being, a movement. How can I pray to that? Well, I said a number of years ago, prayer is saying yes to God. It's the little molecules of water that desperately want to see it themselves as unique and separate, yielding to the movement of the river so that it finds itself as the movement, because it lets the movement be all there is to it, or all there is to them, the molecules. Prayer is saying yes to God. That's prayer. Not, will you do this for me? You say, God, help me to be what you want me to be. Or help me not get in the way of what you're being right here, where I am, so that I might experience that rather than the interesting, challenging, miserable experience I'm having by virtue of my choice to give preference to my definitions and my meanings and how I want things. Okay. I love you. And I look forward to being with you next week. And if you don't understand what I've been saying, and if you're frustrated by what I've been saying, then acknowledge it, and then be willing to set down any emotional charge you have about it, and go to the altar. Go within to that place of excellence in you. Just remember, you can't take frustration there with you and still be able to learn. You can't take anger with you. And you can't take the confidence that there are no avocados downstairs, because there aren't any in the refrigerators. Don't go in there with confidences. Say, I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know what the heck anything means. I think I do, but I'm willing to acknowledge that I'm not enlightened at this moment, so therefore I'm willing to set aside what I believe. And I'm willing to set aside the fact that the emotions I'm experiencing, because nothing's working the way I believe they ought to be working. And I am choosing to be willing to be quiet and listen. I know that the truth wants to be known. I know it's my birthright to know it. And so I'm going to get out of the way and be undefended against the experience, the influx of it. And then be willing to persist. If you don't hear the answer the first time, if you don't see the avocados the first time, go back again and look with less confidence even. They're there. The answers are there. They're in you. Okay.